SERVPRO Live.
Good morning, everyone.
Facebook Live. Anna, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing fantastic. It's such a great day for me. I'm having a great time here with you. Always fun. Always something new.
I don't know if I'm completely buying it. There was somebody's trying to fire Anna up behind the scenes before this thing went on. So if she's extra saucy today, that's not my fault. We can blame the guy behind the camera.
That's right. But then again, I was also born with a little bit of spice. So what they say, don't poke the bear, or don't poke the bull because you'll get the horns.
Oh my God, you messed up the saying.
No, it's fine.
We're still calling her Anna at this point, but
yes,
we are looking for a name. No, you don't get your name. We have to give you a name. I like something with the idea of, you said you're spicy, and so we'll go that. We may call you something like Pepper or something. We'll figure out something. You'll like it. It'll be great. We got a lot going on today's show. Speaking of spicy, the last show you saw us on, you guys were eating hot wings.
That's right.
We're all good now? We've recovered?
I'm fantastic. There was no recovering, at least not for me. I mean, I know I can't say the same for the other guys.
The boys cried for a while.
They did, and I've been notified that they may have caused some damage in some facilities. However, that's none of my business.
well, Lurch is a big guy. He's a big guy, and that's all I'm saying. Hey, we've got a winter storm coming we need to tell everybody about.
From spicy to icy.
Oh, look at you. Winter storm Landon is coming.
That's right.
And it's going to impact a large part of the United States. Mm-hmm. We want you to be ready for it.
Yes.
Because, I mean, this is, anybody who might be seeing this, there's a wide list of things you can do, A, to get ready for it, B, during it, and C, after it's over.
That's right.
So we want to go over a couple of those with you. If you know somebody who's going to be affected by Winter Storm Landon, might be something you could share with them.
Just making sure they're doing well.
Absolutely. Like and share the video, send it to them. Some of these things, there's a couple, listen, some of this stuff everybody knows. Some of this stuff
we mentioned it on the last show as well, just some precautions to take when temperatures are below freezing. But it's like you said, there's some things that you can do during and some very important steps you can take after to minimize the damage if you've been affected by the storm.
All right, let's do during an outage. So if Winter Storm Landon hits your area and you are affected, power goes out, water lines become affected, things like that. These are things you can do during that outage. Make sure the outage goes beyond your house. Go out and look at a neighbor's house. Don't freak out just because you didn't pay your power bill. Make sure it affects other people. That's
right. It would be a very bad time to miss your power bill.
Absolutely. What you got? You got one over there?
I do, yeah. Obviously, and you just want to make sure that your windows are closed, your doors are closed, you're not leaving any drafts coming in. I know what I like to do if I feel like there's a draft in the house. I like to just roll up some towels or some blankets, just put it on there, insulate it as best as you can, because you don't want that cold air coming in, you don't want that hot air escaping either. You're just going to end up overworking your furnace or your heaters or something, and it's just not going to have that same effect.
Yeah, I've got a door in my house that I have to do that to every once in a while. I've got to get that seal fixed on. Know the signs of hypothermia. I mean, look, if your power goes out and you are trapped, you're stuck. Hey, listen, it happened to a bunch of people in Texas.
That's right.
Was it last year?
We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of that historic winter freeze. And let me tell you, it was just, I was down in Texas at the time. Yeah. And it was just something, it was very much historic. But it was just very traumatic also just seeing how people were affected because they didn't know what to do during it. They never experienced something like that.
Well, I mean, it's Texas. You don't expect that in Texas.
No.
But that just shows you it can hit anywhere. You got to be ready for this stuff. So a couple signs of hypothermia is uncontrollable shivering. If you get that, memory loss, disorientation. If you become extremely tired, those are all signs of hypothermia, and you need to make sure at that point you're doing anything you can to warm up.
That's right. Yeah, and obviously, speaking of making sure things are warm, you want to make sure that also your refrigerator and your freezer is not keeping things warm, meaning that they are working, the power is on, and you're not letting all that hot air escape and spoiling that food for you.
Well, you know how you do that?
How do you do that?
If your power's out, you just keep it closed.
Oh.
Do not open your refrigerator if your power's out unless you absolutely have to.
Preserve
the more you can keep that cold air in there, the better.
That's right.
All right, got a couple more of these. This is so now if you have to evacuate, this is something people don't really think about. If you've got a gas heater, make sure you turn out the pilot light when you leave.
That's right.
A lot of people don't think about that kind of stuff. You know to turn your water off. You know to cut that main. Some people know to turn your circuit breaker off. Those are important.
Very key.
But you've got to make sure you blow that pilot light out before you leave.
That's right, of course. And another thing, if you do have to get out, you want to make sure that you just unhook those washing machine hoses. I feel like that's something that's super overlooked. Like you said, everyone knows to shut off the circuit breaker, the main water, shut that gas pilot off, but then go take a moment if you have a washer drying machine in your home and remove those hoses, because I can't tell you how many houses we've been called to that have been affected because it was something that was overlooked. They didn't remove it. They didn't shut it off. So make sure that you keep those, add that to your to-do list if you have to evacuate.
Power comes back on. You come back to the house. Here's a couple things that are important to remember. One, bump up your heat immediately.
Oh, yes.
The quicker you can thaw things out, the less damage you're going to have. So immediately, let's bump that heat up, let that thing start working, let it start to warm that house, let those pipes start to thaw. That's huge.
Of course, yeah. And as you're doing that, you want to make sure that you're just kind of going around the house, around your area, checking to see if there is any water damage, if there's any signs of flooding, and then once you're done with that, be a good neighbor.
Yeah.
Go check on your neighbor. Go check if you know someone in your neighborhood that's elderly or maybe may have a difficult time getting around the house. Check in on them. Make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
You know, lend a helping hand. We're all about being here to help, but that also extends to just making sure.
Community's big.
Making sure our community is well.
One last thing on that. If you're checking around your house to make sure everything is good, be aware of what's around your house. When you go through a storm like this, you have downed power lines.
Oh, yeah.
You have tree limbs that may have frozen that are hanging on by a thread. When you're walking around the house, just be aware of your surroundings. Make sure you're not stepping on something you don't need to step on or walking under something that could be dangerous.
That's right.
Pay attention to that kind of stuff because this stuff's not a game.
No, especially if you notice any down power lines, don't go near it.
Leave them alone.
Call a professional, call a technician, have someone from the city or wherever you're at come and check it out, because you don't want to mess with that kind of stuff, and your safety is very important.
Yep, absolutely. So make sure you're safe with that stuff. Hey, speaking of, I just kind of threw this out there and it made me think about it. I said this kind of stuff's not a game.
No.
Speaking of games, we recently, or you actually recently, went and got a chance to visit a pretty cool place. We did a little video you might want to tell them about.
I did. I got to, now I love playing games, usually with people, but video-wise, it's very fun too.
Yeah, she does.
Mainly with my co-host. Every now and then it's fun to kind of see him wiggle a little bit in his seat. But we did get to go down to Texas, where there is a National Video Game Museum, and I got to speak and walk around the area, the facility, this very incredible museum, Coach. I mean, any kind of video game you can imagine, anything that was out there. We had prototypes, one of a kind in the world. I mean, I could go on and on about it, but I'm gonna let our team play the video, and you guys can get to experience it yourself.
My name is John Hardy, and I'm one of the founders of the National Video Game Museum. Well, the reason this is a great place for families is because everyone can get involved in video games. Whether you have a real hardcore interest in video games or just a casual interest, there's something for everybody. You get to play everything. We're actually open 7 days a week. So Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 5 p.m. Over here is our tribute to Dragon's Lair.
Of course.
So you see the Dragon's Lair machine. Dragon's Lair, important for many reasons. It was the first Laserdisc game that ever came out, right? It was designed and created by Don Bluth, who was a famous animator at Disney. And you can see it's like playing a cartoon. Like I said, we like to do a lot of these scenes at a time. Is our 80s bedroom and living room. Okay. So the 80s living room started years ago at our show when we ran our first conventions in 1999. We had a couch and a TV like that, console and a table, and people loved it. It was simple, but they... Final section.
Okay.
All right. Which is Pixel Dreams, and that is our recreation of an 80s arcade. you know, in my era, Friday, Saturday night, you were at the arcade. This was their social setting, right?
Right.
And if you didn't show up, they just, well, he must have died or something, right? Like, it didn't matter. But, you know, you wouldn't dare miss it. Even if you weren't, like, playing the games, you know, you were hanging out there with your friends. So you didn't miss it. Today, kids, you know, they're more in their room and they're playing online, and it's kind of a different interaction. But for us and people my generation, this was where it was happening.
John, thank you so much
Yeah, the
for
pleasure.
this wonderful tour. I love that this is right here in Frisco, and we're looking forward to see what else y'all
Thanks
do.
so much for coming out. I appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
Awesome. Our website is www.nvmusa.org.
Man, that's why do you get to do all the cool stuff?
It was, let me tell you, I mean, I'm not a huge video game nerd,
No.
but I was geeking out when I was in there because
Yeah.
I was seeing so many cool things. I used to play video games when I was younger
Yeah.
with my brothers, and I was seeing the GameCube. I was seeing the original Nintendo that we used to
What
play,
was your
the Mario
favorite
Kart.
game back in the day?
Mario Kart, hands down.
See, I like Mario Kart, but I was more Street Fighter. Remember that? Ron, you wasn't that what he said?
Yeah.
The old Street Fighter deal, and then also
Was that your alter ego?
It was.
Because you got bullied a
I
lot,
don't. It was, and so then that helped make me who I am today.
which is.
Why you always got to touch on things that
As
you know
I
what you're?
mentioned, I love playing games, y'all. It's a lot of fun. We just have a great time here.
Well,
But
it's funny you should say how much you love playing games, Anna, because I got something planned for next week
yes, we do have.
that I think you guys are going to love, or you may not, depending on which one of us all has to do this. But we are going to have some contestants in here next week. Mm-hmm. We are going to do some sort of contest, whether it be.
I think you should be one of those contestants.
I am
Coach.
going to be a
Okay.
contestant.
Yep. Because the other time I was a contestant.
You were?
And I think
Listen.
that now it's time to switch things
Oh,
around.
no, you'll be in on it too. But what'll happen is we're going to have a contest next week, and the loser of that contest is going to have to do on the air karaoke, but the people watching will not hear the music.
So I feel like no matter who loses, the audience will lose because they have to hear someone singing.
Obviously, you've never heard me sing.
I'd hope I don't have to.
Well, it's going to be amazing if I have to. I hope I don't either, because I'd like to keep this. I don't like signing autographs. I don't like doing that kind of stuff. And as soon as the world hears what I've got here.
How about this? How about if you lose, you can sing, but I'll wear the headphones so I don't have to hear it.
It's hurtful. It's hurtful, and I don't appreciate the way you treat people sometimes, and that's
just another day on set with our
the
team.
way it's just the way you are as a human being. But that's okay. Hey,
Just a little spice in your life.
You don't know about this, but another special thing that we're working on, guys. I told you, make sure to go on here if you've got suggestions for contests, competitions we could do. We're bringing back Taste of the Town, from what I understand, and we're going to do some food challenges. We have had a restaurant step up and wants to be a part of that. They don't even have a food challenge. They want to create one just for us.
We could do a SERVPRO food challenge.
So they're going to have
a little spicy, a little icy.
Well, they're going to take their chefs, which they have some of the best chefs around, and they are going to create a massive burger.
Oh my
And
goodness.
they want to see if one of our people can eat it in a certain amount of time. It's going to be fantastic. The last time you saw us do one of these challenges, we had Nathan tried to eat a giant pizza and failed miserably. Since then, we've nicknamed him the Tiny Masticator. Most of you guys don't know that because of the small bites he took while trying to eat a gigantic pizza.
Well, at least he's not lactose intolerant.
That's true. That's true, because that would have been way worse.
Depending on what happens and what's included in that, we may have some mitigation work ahead of us, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So that's another thing we got coming up. So, like I said, comment down below. Let us know what kind of things you want to see. We're going to try to make this season of the show fun. There's going to be clips of us out doing crazy things. I think we've got some more things planned with the Bulls.
Well, we don't really have to try them on the show now.
We've got some things planned with the squadron basketball, from what I understand, so that could be good too. So It's going to be a big season.
Yep.
I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to have you here.
Me too. I'm super excited to be here, to be with you, Coach. I mean, all games, all fun and jokes aside, it's so much fun to get to be on here and doing this with you, and just giving out some helpful tips to our audience and making sure our community is well taken care of. That's what we're here for.
That's SERVPRO. A SERVPRO in a nutshell, right there.
That's right.
Trying to check on the community. Speaking of SERVPRO in a nutshell, SERVPROs all over the place are still hiring. If you know
right.
guys that are interested, have them reach out. Have them reach out to SERVPRO and check out, see if there's anything available.
Speaking of, this month, it will be my 3-year SERVPRO anniversary that I started with
Congratulations.
SERVPRO. And just if you're considering, joining a SERVPRO team, let me tell you, best decision I made career-wise, because I've gotten to meet so many incredible people.
Yep.
Not like Brandon, but just behind the scenes of our team. And it has been really life-changing. And it's prepared me for moments like these where I've had to deal with uncomfortable situations, such as being on stage with Brandon.
First of all, my name's Coach.
Oh, that's right.
That you wouldn't be able to, you wouldn't know that yet because you haven't developed that professionalism so that you can stay in character. But that's okay.
I'm just trying to understand what exactly you're coaching.
As I take you under my wing and I teach you how to do this, you will learn, and it will become easier for you.
I'll be Coach 2.0.
Well, okay. I don't know about that. Let's not get carried away. Well, guys, as always, if you need us, we're here 24/7, 365. We're always around. So we've got a guy standing by. If you have an emergency at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can call, and our guys will be there.
Coach will show up.
There are times where it will be me who shows up. So just if you need us, give us a call.
Or unlucky.
And do you know, let's see if you know this yet. Do you know the new tagline for going out?
For what?
SERVPRO, we're always
here to help.
Here to help. Gosh, she got it. All right, guys, see you next week.
See y'all.